Thanks, guys. Got another edition of the Early Bird pregame show. Once again, Cole Bradley, pretty much a staple on the show at this point. I'm your sideline reporter, Noah Searson. We're coming off the off day. That's right, 2 offs. Playing Hyannis on the road. Cole kind of came off a homestand in which the Firebirds did pretty well. It was a little up and down, but the offense has been firing on all cylinders. Of course, at the end of last week, you had the 3-game stretch where the Firebirds scored 39 runs in just 3 games, absolutely lighting it up. And the whole team has been performing, but it's been guys like Tyler Locklear, second in the league in RBIs. Guys like Rylan Thomas, still leading the league in hitting every single night. He's just impressing even more and more, it seems like. And then, of course, Chase DeLauder, your Cape League Player of the Week last week due to his 4 home runs and many RBIs. And Cole, we can talk about the home runs and his power has been impressive, but it hasn't just been that. It's also been just getting balls in play. It seems like every time the ball goes into play off his bat, it's hit hard, and this isn't something that anybody who's watched the team should be shocked about, because we watch him in batting practice, and we're like, if this guy catches a barrel, the ball's going to go far, and Chase has been able to do that recently. I know you talked to him, Cole, like he always does. He's pumping out the features. He's going to have a piece coming out with Chase soon enough, but he talked to him this morning. What did he have to say about his hot streak and kind of just, what the analytics say about how DeLauder has been doing?
Yeah, and the thing about Chase you have to understand for anyone at home is he's a humble guy. And he said he's like, I'm not taking too much stock into my start. He said it's nice and it's awesome to have that, but we're still very far away from the end of the season. There's still so much more I need to prove. And that was sort of the big thing that he told me about. But we also talked a lot about how he feels he doesn't think we've seen even close to what his power sort of exceeds as far as just, hitting the ball hard and stuff like that. And so anyone who's come out to a game or watched it on our stream or whatever, that's probably not all of what Chase DeLauder can do. So expect a lot more this summer from him. He's going to be hitting balls hard every single time he goes up there. He told me he swings the bat and tries to do damage with home run, double on his mind every time he comes to the plate. So that's such a huge thing for him that, every time he comes to the plate, that's his mindset. And even though this start's been great for him, he's just not taking too much stock into it. He's been pretty humble about it.
Well, you got to remember, this is a guy who plays at James Madison, their best player. Maybe a little bit under-recruited, though, so he's not going to be happy with just 1 week of good play. He's thinking about the rest of the season. He's thinking about going into the college season next year, and then, of course, MLB draft. Not eligible till next year, but if he can keep it up, boy, he will be quite the power prospect. We got an MLB draft coming up this weekend, though. Kind of crazy. July 11th on Sunday. A lot of Firebirds could be featured. We've already seen Jonathan Cannon and Connor Thurman, 2 starting pitchers that pitched pretty well, especially Cannon for the Firebirds this year. They have already left. And before we get to some of the other guys, when you're looking at how the draft could shake out, where do you see those guys falling in the mix of things?
Yeah, and particularly with Cannon, I know he's one of the more highly sought-after college arms outside of the the Rockers, the Lighters, those guys really out there. He's a top 100 draft prospect. He's going to go pretty high in the draft. I could see him going second, maybe even third round, a team that's looking for a low-risk, high-reward guy, a college arm, who's going to do really well for them. And then in terms of Thurman, I think it's going to be a little bit up in the air for him, to be completely honest, but anyone who's willing to take a chance on that kid, from what we have seen so far, he's a competitor. He really likes to go out there and just pitch and do his best, and that's been good enough pretty much every time he's gone out there.
Well, so for the Firebirds fans, no matter what, no more Cannon, no more Thurman, and there are a couple other guys that we know will be heading out this weekend. Connor Cox being one of them. He's been slotted in the 3 spot pretty much the entire year. He's leaving Saturday. And then there are some other guys, your Orion Kirkering, or even, a couple others that might go in the MLB draft, and it'll be interesting, Cole, to kind of see how not only they end up in the draft, but how that affects the Firebirds moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Donovan Benoit is another guy who I think potentially could probably go pretty high. A team could take a chance on him, and he's just as skilled or just as talented as a Jonathan Cannon is. He's been really good. This will be his last start here in Hyannis before he ships off to go tune into to see where he ends up in the draft. But yeah, like you said, a lot of really talented kids, and regardless of where they go, and whether they stay on for an extra year or if they decide to sign their contract, they're going to be really good. And so any team that gets those guys is very blessed to have them.
Yeah, decent chance that tonight's starting pitcher, like you said, Donovan Benoit, last time you see him, so take advantage. Watch Donovan. He's a great guy. But when we're thinking about tonight's matchup, it's the first time that the Firebirds will be lining up against Hyannis this season, and it's no secret the Harbor Hawks not towards the top of the league. They're toward the bottom of the team. But in the Cape League, you can't underestimate any squad. Anybody can win on any given night. Still a lot of talented guys out there for the Harbor Hawks, and it's on the road as well, somewhere where Orleans hasn't fared too well. Just one win, I believe, on the season on the road. So, Kelly and the rest of the squad's record on the road, not too good. So when we're thinking about keys to the game, Cole, in a lot of ways, a lot of people could see this as a game that the Firebirds could and should win, but it's on the road, things going against them. So when you think about if you want the Firebirds to win, what's your key to the game?
Well, I'm going to go back to Donovan Benoit, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the pitching. And again, we've sort of had this where Jonathan Cannon's left. He left on a high note. Connor Thurman left on a high note. For Donovan Benoit, I think it should be the same thing, and my key is going to be leave on a high note ×3. And I think Benoit is really a guy who's impressed me in particular so far this season. I think he's just going to continue to do that into tonight. But go out with a bang, especially with the squad who's struggling a little bit this season. I think he can really take it to him in the early going, let his offense and let his offense just really work behind him and pick up the run support. So that'll be my key.
Yeah, I think that's a great key, Cole. Benoit, if the Firebirds win tonight, will definitely be an instrumental part. My key to the game is something that has kind of been touch and go for the Firebirds this year, and that's that the defense needs to play a clean game, because when you're playing a team that is likely a little less talented, the last thing you want to do is gift them runs. That's something the Firebirds can't afford to do. It seems like Ben Blackwell at short, he's starting to feel a little bit more comfortable. He had that really good throw in the Bourne game relay, got the guy out at third, has cleaned it up a little bit. So up the middle, Peyton Chadney, Ben Blackwell, maybe turn a couple, and then overall, especially the catching as well, don't give away any runs on pass balls. So I think if they can have a strong game on defense, that will definitely help them win. And, of course, if Benoit pitches like we know he can, Firebirds will definitely be in a good position to win tonight. That's all we got for the Early Bird pregame show. It's going to be a fun one under the lights here in Hyannis. First time making the travel down to Hyannisport this summer. And I know Cole and I are both excited for it. Be sure to follow both of us on Twitter. Cole, where can we find you on Twitter?
Cole Bradley01, same as it's always been.
Same as it's always been. Myself at @NSearson. We're always going to have great content. But for now, we'll send it for first pitch to Carlo and Gareth. Guys, take it away.